Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financeology 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that, information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session. Welcome, everyone, to Financeology 101. This next session will be about creating your financial plan and putting that plan into action, as well as finding an accountability partner. So I'd like to introduce once again Miss Tina Smith, and she will give you her background and we'll get started. Welcome, Tina.
Thank you so much for having me again, guys. I really appreciate the opportunity to share with the listeners more about financial planning and why it's important to have a plan in place. So if you have not heard me speak before, I am Tina Smith, president of the Financial T coaching and consulting firm. We started in April of 2019. I am classically trained, so I do have all the licenses that you can think of concerning being a financial advisor, but I left a well-known firm being a financial advisor to becoming a financial coach so I can concentrate my practice on helping those who I believe deserve the most help. And that did not include the richest of the rich and those who are, those making, 6+ digits, if you will, in their annual income. So I felt that folks like me would deserve help, and I wanted to make sure that I started a firm to do that. So that's a little bit about me. I'm also an author. My book is entitled It's Your Turn, Walk in Your Financial Purpose. It really targets the believer to get back into God's word about what he says about money. I recognize that the Bible was written so long ago, but those principles still work today. And so I wanted to be able to share with the believer to believe in God's word again about what it says about finances. And so I give a lot of professional tips that really just co-sign what the Bible is talking about concerning money. So there's a little bit of me there. I also serve as a deacon at my church alongside my husband. And I teach the same financial principles that are in my book. I teach those same principles at my church and other local churches around the DMV. So yes, I am in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, but that doesn't stop me from helping anybody across the United States. So that's another little bit about me. Lastly, I am a wife and I am a mom. My husband and I have been married 17 years effective last Saturday. And we have a 15-year-old son who is a freshman. Keep me lifted up in prayer, y'all. But but that really is, me, in a nutshell. So all these things in one person, but really, really, again, excited to be sharing some time with you all today.
So let me ask the first question, because I know once my wife gets started, I just sit back and just listen.
Well, that's kind of what happened last time. We just start talking. We start conversating about everything.
So I'm gonna get mine in early if you don't mind.
Might as well. No, go ahead. You might as well.
So your book, my wife and I was talking about your book, and I said, "Hey, Robin, look at her book cover, and what do you see?" I said, because when you look at the book, you see your face and your hairdo. But when you really pay attention to the book, I can see a lot of planning went into the cover, because you're in the forefront, the focus, and there's so many things in the back. So can you briefly just tell us about some of the things? We see your husband, we see Obey, we see a baby picture, we see a house, and some kind of graduation. So that, to me, that's part of planning also, because planning extends outside your finances. It actually triggers into other areas of your life. And I can see how well planned you are in many areas of your life. So can you give us like a 30-second synopsis of what went into the cover of this book?
Oh my gosh, what a great question. Thank you for asking. The first thing that I had to get over, and I want to encourage your listeners who may be looking at writing a book, regardless of the topic, it's not about you and how you look I think that's what stopped me for a long time, putting my face on the cover. But I needed people to, well, I didn't need. The Lord saw that He needed rather people to see that there's another shade, if you will, of people who are in this industry who can provide guidance about God's word and about money in a practical way. It's not dominated by, someone who is of a very light persuasion. It's not dominated by a male. It can be, regular nuggets of information can be brought by someone who looks like me. And so I wanted to make sure that provided the inspiration. The pictures that you kind of see in the background per se, those pictures were properly planned because you're exactly right. I wanted folks to know that these principles that are going to be discussed in the book can help with real estate, if that's what your goal is, can help you with financial planning, can help you, put your kids through college, even you through college, can help you, with your vacation. So the pictures that you see of me and my husband, both of those pictures are when we were in Dubai. And so I wanted to, show that, especially with the buildings behind us, if you've ever been to Dubai, I've seen pictures, you know exactly what those buildings are because they're so recognizable across the globe. So I wanted to make sure that I put up pictures that were so relative and relevant to anybody at any stage of life. So that's why those pictures and the cover is the way that it is.
Well thought out. I did notice
Yes.
it. I was like, this is planning to the utmost. And the way you wrote your book, I love how each page has a scripture behind it or each section, and it's broken down into like multiple things that you can just pick up one day and find a section and be encouraged by that one little section, maybe 1 or 2 pages long, supported by scripture. So I want to say I love it. It's well thought out and I appreciate it. It's a very dynamic book, and I encourage people to go out and get It's Your Turn, Walk in Your Financial Purpose by Tina Smith, available on Amazon.
Yes, but it's more available, may I say. It is really more available on my website. So yes, please feel free to go to Amazon. You can order my book. You might be able to order an ebook right there too. That's pretty cool. But then also, if you order from my website, there's number 1, it's on sale. 2, my books come autographed. I recognize I don't have that via Amazon, but my books come autographed, and they also come with a financial tea pen, also with a little sticky pad notebook, and also with a bookmark, so you never lose your place in my book. So that's the difference between ordering your book through the financialtea.org. That is TheFinancial, the letter T.org. So you can order there, or you can go ahead and get your copy through Amazon. Either way, I want you to be able to purchase the book and get all the information and all the good little tea spilling that I'm doing in that book.
Yeah. Well, I've already given your book out to one of our persons that visited us last week, and he started reading the book. He says, I'm halfway through it. He says, this is very dynamic. Okay, I got mine in. Robin, go ahead.
If I may say one more thing about the book.
Sure.
If you've, listeners, if you've ever read a financial book and you were lost at like page 3 because all the vernacular and the speaking over your head, this book right here was written just for you. It is, and you all can attest to this. Very simply, it's very simply written. It is written to a person who might not even know much about finances. And it's also written in a way to where instead of it being broken down in chapters, it's almost like journal entries. So it's almost like you're reading my secret diary on the little good nuggets about finances. So please don't be intimidated that it's a quote unquote financial book. It is, but it is written in a way to anybody can pick it up. I have a lot of college students actually who read it and be like, okay, even high schoolers. My 15-year-old son read it at 12, 13 when the book came out. And he was really able to, look at it and say, okay, well, this makes sense. So if my teenager can read the book and it makes sense to him, I know anybody can read that book and feel as though they're empowered and not put down because they didn't understand half of what I was saying. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh, yeah. It's a good read. It really is.
Thank you.
Full of information.
Now, you can go ahead with whatever you want to ask. I'm sorry, Robin.
I love it.
That's
No,
fine.
it's good.
That's
That's
fine.
good.
So this is a conversation. So that's part of the conversation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a brief um, um, listing of what we've already discussed on the podcast,
Yes.
so people will know that they have to go back and listen to earlier ones to get that full foundation. So we first spoke to someone and they gave us their life story about finances, their bringing up regarding financial finances and how their family was raised and looked at finances. So
Mm-hmm.
you got that experience. Then we had you come in and gave us the mental approach to
Oh
financial
yeah.
planning and how we needed to look at our life history and how we were raised and what's going on in our lives right now that
Yes.
impact our finances and how we see finances. Then we had
Yeah.
someone come in and talk about putting that financial plan, coming up with creating a financial plan and then putting it into action. This young man, he explained it well. He gave us his story of how he came up with his plan and put it into action. So now we're talking to you as the financial coach
Mm-hmm.
to give people some words that will help them come up with a plan, put it into action, and actually find an accountability coach, what that is and how they can find one. So, can you speak to that?
Oh, absolutely. One thing I would say, bring in a nugget from the last time that I was on your show. Dealing with the mental aspect of your finances is super key. It is so important to um, learn from experiences, all sorts, good, bad, indifferent. It is so important to learn from those experiences growing up. And then, what do you want to do? Think about what you want to do to change that vicious cycle so that we can enjoy the generational wealth that maybe other cultures enjoy that haven't gotten to the party just yet. And part of that is being able to dream big. Whatever that means to you, listener, I need you to start dreaming big. Once you start grasping your why behind your finances, nothing's going to be able to stop you. So I just wanted to just bring that little nugget to this. So when you get your mind right concerning your finances, say, okay, I recognize now what it is that I want to do. I know, what my end game is or what the result I want, the expected result. I know what I want that to be. Who can I now find to help me? Because I promise you, doing this by yourself will not provide you with the generational wealth that you may be looking for. I do recognize there's a lot of fads going on out there. I know, I hear about them all the time. I'm going to tell you, someone asked me last week, why don't you speak on what's going on in the news right now concerning X, Y, and Z? And I'm not even going to speak about it because to me, it's not even worth my profession, my time, and my licenses. Here's why. The reason why I don't speak about those fads that you may see going on that's happening in the news is because they're fads. There's no fad that I know that, especially when it talks about money, that is going to give you that mainstay, that long-term earnings, that long-term return, if for lack of a better word, the way that other mainstay vehicles will allow you. So to my point, you might hear that there might be some cryptocurrency going out there. I'm not hating on anybody that do it and, go ahead and get, your money. I'm cool with that. But from a long-term perspective of really building and generational wealth, that might not be what I recommend, people to do. So it's important that you find someone to be able to help you plan long-term. Because if we're talking generational wealth, that doesn't stop. That money should not stop at your generation. Once you pass away, there should be some dollars and some knowledge and some things put in place to get past that point. And the unfortunate thing is there's so many folks who believe that they can just Google it and do it themselves that you really miss out on, optimizing your dollars. So here's a list that I teach. And at different businesses when they ask me to come in and teach their employees about finances. This is a quick list that I teach in those classes, and what to look for someone to help you reach those financial goals that you have. Number one, you need to find someone who puts you first. What I mean by that is, a fiduciary, my job, being someone who's licensed, my job is to make sure that whatever I recommend lines your pocket before it lines mine.
Amen.
And so that's super important, because you might run into some folks who may try to have you, either invest with their company or, get different type of products and stuff with their company. And I'm not putting their integrity on frontline at all. I used to be that, and I know what my integrity is like. So, and I don't want to question anybody's integrity. But the bottom line is, if you run into someone who has any type of license, not just someone, this is kind of their side hustle. I'm talking about someone who's licensed professional. That person is supposed to put you first, not see what they can sell you to line their pockets. So that's number one, put you first. Number two, someone who saves you time. So I mentioned you can Google or search all day long, and you might search one question, and it could be something as simple as, how do I save money? You might get 5,000 responses or answers according to the search engine that you use. But how do you shuffle through those answers to fit something that fits you and your lifestyle? So I say that to say, when you have a professional that is able to be in your corner and to listen to what you're saying and what your goals are, that person can say, oh, well, shucks, these are the things that you can do. And so we're able to listen to your personality, your goals, things that you like and don't like. There's a lot of things that you might say that doesn't seem like it's money oriented, but to a licensed professional, we're listening to everything that you say so that we can learn more about you and give you the guidance and the steps on what to do next in a way that you won't give up. Like, take for instance, let's say that you did a search engine on how to knock out your debt. And you do this search and there's giving you 500 ways to do that. Versus when you talk to someone who is a financial professional, there's going to be some questions to ask and to get to know you better. And then once we understand what your answers are, we can say, oh, well, here's option one, here's option two that would fit you, your personality, your stick-to-itiveness, and whatnot, so that way you don't give up and you can reach your goal after all. So that's two, someone who saves you time. Three, gives you options. A little bit what I've said a moment ago about option one, option two. You don't want to be pigeonholed into doing anything. There is more than one way to skin a cat. If you want to reduce your debt, the way that I like to do it in my own personal finances might not be the way that you like to do it. So I can give you option A, B, or C, and then there's always an option to do nothing, but still you have options. And that way, once you're educated and you have options, then you can make an educated decision on what works best for you. So that's number three, gives you options. Number four, welcome to the family. And I basically say that there's always a crazy uncle, always a crazy cousin or something, but you still love your family. And if you join a firm or find someone to help you stay accountable to your financial goals, you don't want that person or that group of people to tear you down every time you make a mistake. You want to, be welcomed into the family to where when mistakes are made, because mistakes will be made. I promise you, mistakes will be made in this journey, but you want somebody to be able to help you get up, dust you off, and encourage you to continue to walk that way. And then we'll walk with you. And that's going to be so important. So that's four, welcome to the family. Number 5 of 6, displays integrity. Now, this is super huge. And any Air Force veteran knows that, integrity first was, the one core value, the number one core value, rather, in the Air Force. Of course, there's a couple more, but integrity first. So this was important for me to bring that into my firm. I don't know everything. And it will behoove you as a client to know that, instead of you asking me a question and I'm trying to talk my way around to something that might make sense to you and I can slide with that answer. That's not integrity. The right answer is, you know what? I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm going to find out the answer, or I know where I can get the answer. You don't want anyone to be able to kind of talk around the answer. You want someone to give you a straight answer and display integrity. And that's not always easy to do, to say, I don't know the answer to that. It's easy for me now because I've said it enough. But the key is that I've built my repertoire enough and my network enough to where I can reach out to different financial professionals to be able to help get my client the best answer. And that's what you should look for, someone who displays integrity. And lastly, what to look for is someone who can, what I call, show you the road less traveled. So what I mean by that is, from a statistics standpoint, only 1 of 5 individuals will be financially free in retirement. So you pick any 5 people that you know, only one of y'all gonna make it. And that means then that the other 80% of society is going the wrong way. So of course, if only 20% is going one way, then that is the road less traveled. But you want somebody to be able to show you that road, also known as have been there, done that, have made some of the mistakes, have, built their savings, have started their investment plan, have gotten the proper life insurance, whatever the case may be. You want someone to be able to show you that. And if they have not been there or don't practice, what they teach, that person might not be for you. So these are the things where, I would say, if you're looking for a financial professional or even accountability partner, you want to have these keys, if you will, as to what to look for in that person that's holding you accountable.
Definitely integrity and someone that's been there, because you definitely don't want someone that's telling you to do one thing and they've never even experienced it, or they're not walking that same road. So that's definitely key. So if someone was trying to create, say I'm at the point where I made up my mind and I'm ready to create this plan, how would I even begin? Where do I begin to get this plan started? How do I create it? How do I get it started?
Well, that's the key to finding someone to help you. You don't have to go. You don't have to go it alone. There's going to be someone to be able to be by your side and help you, to show you, quote unquote, the way. So of course you have goals and whatnot, and that's fine. You don't necessarily have to know all the steps to find that person to help you out. Allow that person to, help you with those steps. Again, that'll save you time. They're going to treat you like family and show you the road less traveled. So you don't have to pick this up alone. I like to tell my clients, when they decide to become a client of the Financial T coaching and consulting firm, I like to let them know, if they're a couple, I let them know that I'm holding up 33% of this 100% situation, or 33 and a third, whatever. But I'm 1/3 of this. So they know that they don't have to do this 50-50. We're all now sharing the burden. And then with the single person, I always say, you're not alone anymore. Now, between me and you, it's 50-50. So I want that person to know that they don't have to bear this burden all by themselves. It's going to take, someone to help. So I recognize that might not have been a straight up, if you will, answer, but I need folks to know that they don't have to think about all of the roads and the detours and the hurdles. They don't have to think about all that on their own. They have someone to help them get to that point.
So what would you say to people that's skeptical about just sitting down and being vulnerable financially with someone, or even they don't even realize, well, they may not have the money to, have a financial coach? Is there something they could do on their own to at least get started, and then they'll come to the realization that they need help? Is there something they can do?
That's a great question. What I always say is, if you're afraid, listener, of finding somebody because you don't think you can afford a financial coach, you might not have talked to the right ones. There are some coaches, that have a fee schedule that's quite affordable. I would recommend finding someone that you could trust, somebody you could get on Zoom with these days, or somebody that you can kind of, sit at a coffee shop table and just chop it up for a free consultation of some sort. and you get to know that person, they get to know you. And, if you feel like you can vibe together and work together, you can hire them. During that consultation, they should also tell you what their fees are, so you're clear going in. And if you feel like, I heard it, I like it, however, that is not, that's kind of out of my budget per se, I would recommend going back to the drawing board and do a savings plan. So here's what I mean by that. Go back to your budget. So yes, step number one, you would have to do a budget, which is not the worst thing in the world. And the only thing that a budget really is, just at the bare bones, is just identifying what your income is, identifying what your outgoing dollars are, and work from there. You may really be able to find that there might be some costs that you could cut. Like, maybe you don't need that phone plan that's $200. Maybe the phone plan that you need might be closer to $150. Now you just save $50. But what about something else? Maybe getting on a budget plan with your utilities provider. That may save you $50, $100. So as you start uncovering the different ways in which you can start saving money, pull those dollars together and actually save those dollars. Don't now create another bill, but save it. So that's what I would say to the person who is starting. Once they find that they can increase their income by decreasing their outgoing dollars, everything changes. And then you'll find that you actually probably can afford that person that you're trying to hire to really take you to the next level.
That's good. So you start. So for anyone that's questioning if they have the money to seek a paid professional, take a closer look at your budget, like she said, because then you can find a way. Because if you really want it bad enough, you will find a way, because we find a way for all sorts of stuff.
Facts.
So, yeah, so just take a look at your financial situation closely and see where you can cut some things out so you can have that money to seek a financial coach or a financial mentor.
Yeah, and there might be a listener that might say, okay, now it shouldn't take all that. And
right.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying to cut those things out permanently.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? But but at least on a temporary stance, let's take COVID for instance. We couldn't go out to eat for a hot minute. I mean, it took us a while for lobbies to open back up. So I realized, right. So you're like, wait a minute now. I couldn't go to Outback for the last 2 months. How much money did I really save not being able to go to Outback? Our Starbucks was closed. I mean, we had a lot of favorites, if you will, that was closed. Yeah. And you know what? We made it. We survived not going to said places. During the summertime, my husband and I like to, have regular date nights. So we like to go to jazz concerts. We like to do plays and operas, and we couldn't do any of that because everything was closed. And so once you realize, hey, there were some things that I couldn't do and I was still okay. Look how much money that somebody was able to save. Just carry it on a little bit further and do it a little bit longer, and you'll find that you're going to save so much money. Oh, one other thing that we didn't get to do really is travel. So there might be a lot of money that was saved.
Talk about it.
From gas. A lot of us didn't go to work, so there was, gas money that wasn't spent, plane tickets that wasn't bought. I mean, there was a lot of things that wasn't happening, for a while. So you really did do a temporary quote unquote shutdown. Now, if you do that a little bit longer, then you would be able to find that it's not as bad as you might have thought to not do all the stuff that you like to do. Please go ahead.
And also the insurance company gave you money back because you wasn't traveling.
That's correct.
Charging you less per month. That's money back in your pocket. So
money back in your
pocket. So many things that we get back. And then the student loans were called off for a little while. And then
it still is
your mortgage for a little while. I mean, there's so many things in place that you got to look for those things in order to say.
Absolutely. And you have to,
sometimes someone like you can point those things out that they're not aware of.
And that's exactly what happened during this time. I went into 2020 having so many goals about my firm and what we're going to do and who we're going to conquer. And then COVID happened. I was like, well, yeah, that's over. So all these goals that we had for 2020 is not going to happen. We exploded during COVID.
Wow.
I mean, it was amazing. I just could not believe the clientele that we built, and we're still growing. I just couldn't believe the clientele that we built during COVID, because people said, wait a minute, now that I got a little time, let me look at my money, and hey, I'm not spending as much as I, once thought. So, we were able to talk, and there were some things that some of my clients was dealing with, and I'll pick on a set of clients that I have that had a lot of credit card debt, but their interest rates were so high. Majority of their payments was going to interest, which does not apply to your principal as in the balance that you actually owe. So, being able to talk with them about different ways to do that. And, if we defer this and if we defer that, and dollars that we saved over here can pay that off in record time. I mean, before we knew it, we saved clients hundreds of dollars a month. One conversation, our very first client meeting, we saved them $600 in one meeting. I paid for myself for 3 months, basically. So just being able to tell clients, you're exactly right. Just being able to tell clients some of those little nuggets, they're not secrets.
Right.
You just don't know where to apply to what and when. And so though COVID is not the conditions in which, I would wish upon, any country or any set of folks, and it's just the horrific things that have happened, for that. But, for those who, really turn to their dollars and studied that and continue to stay safe, they found that they earned a lot of money, by not doing a lot of things and by really paying attention. And then when you hire, someone or have an accountability partner to be able to help you identify some things, I mean, you're like, well, shoot, why didn't I ever think of that? And then you put those things in place, and before you know it, you're sprung free, and you just had no idea.
Yes. You are
And that's the thing, that if you make the sacrifice up front, you don't have to pay it down the road, because some way you're gonna pay
100%.
for it. You're gonna pay for it now, or you're gonna pay for it later, but you will have to pay. So I'd rather make the sacrifice now to have a brighter future than get down the road and be, lost or stuck.
You're 100% right. And my mom's generation, I'll even use my mother, for instance, she's number one, she's my office manager, and she's the best.
Oh, okay. When we're at events, and things of that nature, or networking events online, the passion that she has about what we do is because nobody talked to her and her husband, which is my dad, at 25, 30, 35, 45. No one was talking to them about these simple, practical things that could be done to change the whole trajectory of your financial future. And so, I run into folks, my parents' age rather, and, they'll say something like, where were you like 20 years ago, 25 years ago? So it's always the right time to start, looking at your finances in a way to do something different about them. And you can't expect a different result when you're doing the same thing. Of course, that's the definition of insanity. We got to do something different in order to get a different result. And I think having someone in your life to hold you accountable, whether it be a coach or whether it be, just an accountability partner, get somebody, in your life to say, okay, where are you on goal A? Right.
And why haven't you met that goal yet, or why haven't you started, your steps to that goal? And a lot of times it's fear, fear of failing, fear of making it, fear of, starting it and can't finish, fear of also someone being vulnerable, just like you were saying earlier, Robin, about, being vulnerable and having someone look at your stuff and,
Right.
You feel like you're going to be judged, and you feel like you're going to be, called stupid, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that couldn't be further from the truth. If you hire somebody, or if you have an accountability partner, that, one or two things is happening. One, they really care about you. Or two, they care about their client, service provider relationship. So the job is going to get done. So it's just a matter of you being okay with exposing yourself,
Right.
and knowing that whoever is holding you accountable, whether it be somebody you hire or an accountability partner, they're not judging you. They're there to help you.
Right. Right. So what do you say to people, and I've heard people mention these financial plans like Financial Peace with Dave Ramsey and
Yes.
Joe Single. I was broke, but now I'm not. And I
Mhm.
know there's other programs out there.
Sure.
What would you say to people about using those as tools?
I think that those tools are a good starting point. I think they're great seed planting tools. But who out of those individuals that you named or those programs you named, who's coming to your house and holding you accountable?
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew it was
Who?
coming.
Who's calling you on the phone saying, "Yo,
I knew.
John,
I knew.
you told me X, Y, and Z, and I ain't seen you do nothing.
I said,
You ain't logged on. You haven't completed the budget worksheet. Where you at? What you doing?"
Yeah, I
You
knew
know,
it was coming.
Nobody is coming to hold you accountable to those things. So you can, that's just like, take for instance, and I'm going to talk bad about myself. I can enjoy sitting down and watching a workout video. That don't mean I'm about to get up and do anything. I'm watching you. I might have a bag of chips with me. That's an aside. But the point is, there's nobody coming from the TV or my computer screen saying, "Yo, Tina, you need to be up and you need to be doing these squats. You need to be doing these planks. You need to be doing these curls." I'm just watching. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad y'all doing it. I'm sweating thinking about what y'all doing. But nobody's holding you accountable. So I hope that makes sense. So
Right.
it makes a difference when I got my training, my personal trainer in my ear talking about put 10 more on there. I'm like, are you crazy? But let's do it. But it's different. So I think those are great tools to start with, plant seeds. Right. But the second thing I would say to that is that not all of the concepts and ideas are attractive. I've taken, some of the courses that you might be speaking of, and some of them I'm watching and I'm like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. I don't come from poor. So ramen noodles and beans and weenies is not a part of my menu. It's not.
Right.
And so my husband's like, let's do it. I'm like, I don't think so. So that might not. And so if that's your style, great. That's not my style. My style is I'm going to still do what I want to do. I'm going to have to sacrifice elsewhere.
I hear you.
And so that's exactly what happens. So, if you guys have read my book, so and for listeners who have not, I highly recommend you going to thefinancialtea.org and ordering your copy or copies, plural, today. But you'll find that I had to give up, my favorite hot beverage company for a while. And it wasn't that I cut them off completely, but I was going 7 days. I'm talking about Sunday to Sunday, and sometimes twice, depending upon if they were going to give me the happy hour section of my receipt.
Was that Starbucks?
So, I wasn't trying to name names.
Oh, okay.
But yes.
Page 34. It all boils down to behavior.
Yes. So, exactly. But, if I'm going Sunday to Sunday and I'm getting my favorite hot beverage and I may be back that afternoon because, it's happy hour. So, of course, I want any drink I want for $2.
Yeah.
But I didn't stop completely. All I did was cut my habit in half. It made all the difference in the world to really start me looking at other areas within my budget I could sacrifice. So, I still wanted to do what I wanted to do, but I had to make some sacrifices in other areas. So I can't have it all and do everything today. I've got to sacrifice something in order to live like I want to live later.
Yeah, I actually like when you said you put yourself on Front Street when you said you and your husband had a budget and y'all knew y'all can save $500 a month. You know where I'm going,
we looked
right?
at each other.
So you we can save $500 a month. And you says, why aren't we saving that kind of money?
Yeah.
But it took somebody else to point that out what you were doing wrong.
I'm telling you, we looked at each other. I said, well, somebody lying.
Yeah.
I
love that.
We don't see this $500 that our budget says that we're supposed to have. But if we didn't have that person in our life to say, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, well, shoot, we living it up. We're not living check to check or anything. And she's just like, there's more to it than this.
Yeah,
And I'm
let's
like,
look
okay,
at. I love that.
let's
part
take a
when I saw
look.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that part when I saw that. So they called me when you said. I said, I know she's talking about page 34.
See, and it's simple things like that. And I try to be as transparent as I can, in the book to show you that, I mean, it's one of those, quote unquote, even a caveman can do it. And I feel like if I can, take my $19,000 salary, that was 19, not 90, my 19, my $19,000 salary, that's gross. So that's before taxes.
Wow.
If I can do it, surely anybody can. And you don't have to start with a whole lot. Just start with something.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's $10 a week.
Yeah.
Save, sacrifice something.
Yeah.
And once you're really ready to do that and you start seeing the differences, you're not going to be able to be stopped. You just will not be stopped.
Right.
Come on.
And the thing about it is that when people hear budget, they think that's a bad word.
Oh yes, it's a cuss word. It's a 4-letter word.
Oh yeah. And the budget is what you make it. You make the budget. If you like your expensive coffee, like you said, don't go 7 times a week. Just go 3. If you like a certain pair of shoes or a purse or a gadget, then you build the money in. If you
that's all I'm asking.
To save it to purchase down the road. It may be next month. You can't get it this month, but you can get it next month. It's what you make it. You build in. You want to go eat out maybe once or twice a month. You build it in. You don't have to. People think a budget is restricting yourself.
Yes.
It's not. You build in the things that you like to do because you still got to live, but you just don't do as much.
Right. And actually, you're exactly right. And actually, when you do a budget, it actually takes a lot of the stress out.
It does.
Because when you're doing the budget, you're like, okay, I know I want to go to Outback this week. Let me go ahead and put my $50 in right there.
Yeah.
I know what I want to do, X, Y, and Z.
You see it.
Build it in. And if whatever you want, that big ticket item, just like you're saying, I mean, that big ticket item, if you need to save, $50 a month in order to get it, then do that. Right. But I would prefer you do that than to be afraid of when that credit card bill comes in. And you're scared to open it and scared to see what your payment will be, scared to see what your interest charges are, because a lot of times your payment is swallowed up by a large percentage of your interest charges. I mean, there's just no way to live. Yeah. And so I would prefer that you be proactive. And the whole point of a budget is you tell your money what's going to go down.
Come on.
Talk to your money doesn't tell you what's going to happen. You do that.
Come on now.
Right.
You do that. So that's what your budget is, really, is where you're telling your money where to go, not the other way around.
Come on.
Right.
Ooh,
right.
And so that's the key.
And people have FOMO. Y'all know what FOMO is, right? Fear of missing out.
Oh
yeah.
So they figure they gotta show up to everything, and they don't even know if they got gas money to get to work next week. Yeah. Sometimes you just gonna have to say no.
Yeah.
And like my book says, and like my book says, it's not a permanent no, it's a temporary no. But I tell you what, if I wasn't, and I'm gonna really put myself on Front Street, if I didn't say no to some things over the year, I would. Just to listeners, just so you know, my husband and I flew from Baltimore, Maryland to Florida Thursday night. My husband's brother got married. So if you're aware of what's happening on the East Coast right now, in the northeast part of the country, they're snowed out. So my husband and I were like, okay, yesterday there was some snow action happening. We're like, yeah, no, we good. We just gonna stay up the street from the Orlando airport and we just gonna do what it do. We get to the airport today. All flights are canceled except the one we're on. We're like, yeah, no, we're good. The funny thing is we came back to the same hotel. They didn't even check us out the room. They said, oh, you can just have your room right on back. Go ahead. It's up there. So I say that to say, had I not said no over the years, there would be no way we would be able to look at each other and say, our safety is a little bit more important than this. Let's just stay a couple extra nights, whatever. Right. And so being able to have that flexibility means everything.
Wow.
So we're in Florida. I mean, my mom and son are back at the house. They're getting snowed in. And we're down here in palm trees. you know, but that's not a point to brag. Absolutely not. The key is that over the years we've practiced this so that now that I'm 45 years old, we can say, well, shoot, we'll stay another couple days. We recognize, the hotel is $100, whatever. We recognize we're gonna have to have lunch, breakfast, dinner, snack, whatever. And it's not a worry. It's not a concern financially. Do I want to get back home to my son and my mom? Absolutely. But they all agree, let's just be safe here. Let's not be stupid and get back home.
Right.
Because, and the money is not the reason why we're trying to get back home. Does that make sense, guys?
Right.
Yeah, because I know now could mean a yes later too,
Right.
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. So, this could have been like, oh, snap. What are we going to do? We got to get back because we can't afford to be here another day.
Yeah, because you made the sacrifice earlier in life.
Yeah,
so that
exactly. And over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just, just a couple of hot seconds. There's been some no's over the years. Could we have afford, newer cars, nicer cars, bigger houses, better trips? Yeah, we could have afforded it, but we chose either A, not to go, or B, go on trips that fit our budget. So we've been to Orlando quite a few times. This is the first time my family has come to Orlando, which is me and my husband this time, but this is the first time that we haven't hit Disney in some way, shape, or form. We've never come here and not hit Disney up. So this is a little weird, but my son could tell you how many times we've been to, Disney World or on a Disney cruise or something, but we didn't start. If you're familiar with like cruises, when you go Disney, you like at the top of the line.
Right.
We started at some of the very, very less expensive. We started there. Uh-huh. We started what fit our budget at the time. So, my husband and I, we started with $1,000 for a cruise, 10 years ago. And so that's what our budget can handle because that's what we saved for. Just like you were saying earlier, Robin, about, whatever that item is, save for it. That's exactly what we do. Now, even now, we have a lot of financial freedom and I'm thankful for that. But still, a lot of these habits that we've been practicing over the last 20 years have not died. So when my husband and I get back, we, have to pick up our lips from the fact that, we're no longer, by the beach or on somebody's water, we're not getting fed, somebody got to cook now. Once we, get back into that reality, we say, okay, where are we going next? How much will it cost? How much we need to save? Period.
Right.
That's the way.
Right.
So, we love going on cruises and we go probably every other year. Well, of course, we were supposed to go last year, but, things happen. But the whole point is that when we get off our cruise and pick our faces up, the fact that nobody's making our beds and leaving us nice little candies and stuff, we start saving again for the next thing. So the key is to plan, just like the whole topic is here saying, and I love you guys and what, you guys are laying out because this information is so needed because I think where people fall behind is failure to plan. And I talk about that in my book. Mm-hmm. We're out of toilet paper. So talk about that because, if you run down to your convenience store, you're paying an arm and a leg for the toilet paper that had you planned and went to the grocery store and picked up your normal regular, you would pay a fraction of the cost as you would at a convenience store. So it's so important to plan these things. So waiting the last minute, you're going to pay for it. Just like we were talking earlier, you're going to pay now or later. If you wait till the last minute, that later cost is not going to be cute and it's not going to be affordable. So now you got to go into debt in order to take care of that. And then when that bill comes, you pay interest on it. The cycle continues.
Yes, it will.
So what are we going to do to stop that cycle?
It's up to us. It's up to us to make that mind change, change our mindset. And I'm gonna give a summary of some of the things that you said. You said set goals. Figure out what your long-term, short-term goals are. Write them down. One thing I want people to understand is something my pastor has been teaching us. Write it down. The word says write it down. Make it plain. Put it in your face so that you can see it. Because if you're thinking about it in your mind, you know how our mind comes and goes. Write down your goals. Then your financial plan, which is your budget. Plan out your money. Tell it where to go. Make sure every dollar is assigned. If you have $200, say left over for a pay period. No, you assign it to go somewhere, to your savings, to your 401k. Make sure you allocate your money and tell it where to go. Next, you said get help, your accountability partner. Find someone that will put you first, that will
Mhm.
save you time, give you options, treat you like family, walk with you on this journey. Someone with integrity and someone that has walked this road before you. Don't be afraid. It's never too late to start this journey. And don't think you have to have a lot of money to start this journey. You can start now.
Yes.
And once you have this plan in place, when the money starts coming in, you already have a plan, because that's something that happened to Elroy and myself. We did not have a plan in place early in our marriage, because what we made is what went out. There was nothing extra. But
Mm-hmm.
once we started making more money, we didn't have that plan, or he was so busy, Elroy was so busy working and going to school, that it was up to me. And I'm not the financial genius in the house. He is. So I was paying bills like my mom did. When it came in, we paid it. But
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't a plan, because we had more money than I realized, and we kept falling short, and I couldn't figure out why. Because why?
Right.
I did not I was living, paying the bills as if though we didn't have the money like before. So the money wasn't
Yeah.
looking right. So
Mm-hmm.
once we got the plan in place, then the money started looking right. So
Yeah.
definitely have a plan. So I
You
just want
got
to,
it.
yeah. So is there anything else you want to tell them all about your social media and all, your book and everything
Absolutely.
again?
Yes, no doubt. If you're on social media, you will find me. You can find me at Facebook at The Financial T, all one word. That is at the @ sign TheFinancial, the letter T. Also, you can find me there on Twitter at The Financial T. On Instagram, it is the_financial_T. And on LinkedIn, the Financial T there as well. You can always, again, go to my website, which is thefinancialt.org. That is TheFinancialt.org. And you can go there to subscribe to our newsletter. And you can also look at some videos from our YouTube page. So again, if you're on social media, we are already there. Check us out, The Financial T.
Well, thank you, Tina. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm so sorry you stuck in sunny Florida.
Yeah. Mm.
Yes, the
I feel it.
tragedy.
Yeah.
The
The
sacrifices you make.
Yes, I mean, somebody had to do it. Take
Yeah.
one for the team.
Yeah, you took one for the team.
I did. I did.
So just thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us again. And of course, we'll be talking to you in a couple more weeks about other topics. So, and
Yes.
listeners, please go back and listen to the previous podcast that's posted on our site. And we're going to close out.
Yes.
Well,
Again, thank you for having me, guys. And I love our conversation. And it's exactly what it is. I don't feel like I'm being interviewed per se. I feel like we're talking and having a conversation. So, listeners, I really hope that we've added value to your life today and gave you some steps and some nuggets where you can start right on your own before you even get an accountability partner or hire a coach. There's some things that you can start. So I hope that what we talked about today added value to your life.
yeah.
Yes.
So, Tina, if you get a chance, tune in next week. We have somebody on it. We go to the same church with. She has a book too. It's called Love Is Not Enough.
Oh,
It's
wow.
Alonda G. Green, and she has her master's in financial wealth management, and she's going to be talking about dating and coaching of your money while you're in the dating process slash marriage process.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I talk a little bit about that in my book too, but oh my
So
goodness, that is so important.
yes, it is. Yeah.
So
So
important.
check it out,
I
and
sure will.
this is good information. We're also trying to let her use the platform to speak on that too. But definitely, our platform is your platform. Anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome. Any hot topics you want to just pop up and say, "Let's do this now." We're here for you. We want to make sure we get the word out any way we can about finances and being financially free and debt free.
Amen. Amen to that.
So, baby, you
Okay.
want to get on
So
our stuff before we hang up? Our website stuff.
Our website is giftedgenerations-llc.com. Don't forget the dash. Our Facebook is Gifted Gen. Our Instagram is gift.gen. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think
So,
Facebook
as
is gifted.
well,
I think Facebook is Gifted Gen LLC.
yes, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Yes,
That's okay,
y'all.
baby. That's all right. That's why we're partners. I'm your safety net. I always has been and always will be. See, it's a
Yes,
plan.
he's
It's a
right.
plan.
He's right. So, as usual,
And it's recorded. Did y'all hear that? He said I was right. Save that for the message board.
oh yeah, I will. As usual, Gifted Generation presents Financeology 101, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Tina.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank
Travel
you.
safe. Get home safe.
Will do.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Financeology 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.